If you're coming to Valencia, you gotta learn a little bit of the language. And no, I'm not referring to Spanish. In Valencia, people speak Valencian. Bon dia, everyone. I'm Kevin. I'm behind Abroad in Valencia. I'm an American that's moved here in 2018, married to a Valencian husband, and I'm your cultural bridge to the city. And here's the thing, a lot of visitors actually don't know about the city. Valencia has its own language. It's called el Valencià. And Valencian is a Romance language, just like French, Spanish, Italian. It's similar to Catalan. You can think of the difference between Valencian and Catalan as the difference between American English and British English. There's some differences here and there, but at the end of the day, it's the same language. But it is completely separate from Spanish or Italian or French. Now, most people will try to speak a little bit of English with you, but if you learn even a couple phrases in Valencian, you'll get a lot of smiles from the locals and you'll go a big way of showing your respect and appreciation. So let's get into some essential travel phrases. Start with the ones you'll use most, the ones you can sprinkle into every conversation. We have hola, which is hello, but you also have bon dia, which means good morning. You can use this to say hello as well. You walk into a bakery, you walk up to somebody, you can say bon dia. Some other essentials, moltes gracias. This means thank you very much. Per favor is please. Really similar to the Spanish por favor, but this one's with an E, per favor. And to say you're welcome, de res, no? De res. And to say goodbye, adeu, adeu. And a really important one to know probably is if you want to ask somebody, do they speak English? You can say, parles anglais, parles anglais. That little question might save you a little bit. In my experience, this is what everybody needs to know when you travel. You need to know how to communicate at a restaurant. So the most useful phrase is you walk up to a waiter and you say, teniu taula per a dos, or teniu taula per a quatre. You ask for a table for two or a table for four, however many people in your group. Another really good one to know, especially if you're traveling during the week, is to say, teniu menú del día. This is like a reduced menu that's usually a lot cheaper, and especially for lunch. Most local places will have this, especially during the week, but they might not have it during the weekend. If you want whatever drink, you can say, em poses, and then whatever you want, right? Em poses una botella d'aigua, em poses una Coca-Cola, em poses una cerveza. And then when you're ready to pay, at the end of the meal, you can say, ens portes el compte, per favor. El compte means the bill. Ens portes is will you bring us. Ens portes el compte. Oh, and I forgot to say, at the beginning of your meal, make sure to say bon profit. It's kind of like saying bon appetit, right? It's what you say before a meal to say enjoy. And if you want to know all of my suggestions for where to use these phrases, I have a whole guide on the best restaurants in the city. Now, getting around and asking for help. Let's say you're walking around the city, Google Maps isn't working, you don't have data, you're panicking, you don't know what to do. To get somebody's attention, you can say perdó, pardon in English, right? Perdó. And you can say perdó, em pots ajudar, right? Can you help me? Em pots ajudar. The easiest way to say how do you get to or where is, right? I think you can say com, how, com s'arriba. Com s'arriba. How does one get to? Com s'arriba a la catedral? Com s'arriba al mercat central? Com s'arriba a l'Ajuntament? So if you're out in the city and you want to get to somewhere, that's the easiest thing to know. But if you're in a restaurant, let's say, and you need to use the bathroom, the restroom, you can say, on está el lavabo? On está el lavabo? Both of those are probably really useful phrases. Which, by the way, if you're coming from the US or any other country where you don't get data in Europe, then I really recommend looking into eSIMs. I find they're super useful, especially if you have a more modern phone. It's easier than trying to replace them. Now, let's talk about when you're at your hotel. I find this is like a really relaxing and low stakes place to practice your Valencian because they probably do speak some English anyway, but it's a good way to, get some practice because it's okay, they can save you if you mess up. So to say you have a reservation, you can say, tenía una reserva, right? I have a reservation, or had a reservation, right? And you can say, tenía una reserva a nom de, and then your name. So I had a reservation under the name, and whatever your name is. Tenía una reserva a nom de John Doe. And then to ask questions about times, right? Because that's important to ask at a hotel. You can say, a quina hora. So A quina hora es el desdejuni? What time is breakfast? A quina hora es el desdejuni? Or to say, what time's checkout? You can say, a quina hora es el checkout? We made it easy for you guys. Checkout is just checkout. Now, maybe not at a hotel, but let's say you want to buy some tickets. You're going into the cathedral, you found your way over, and you need to get some tickets to get in. You can say, dos entrades, per favor. So, entrades are like tickets, the way to enter, right? Dos entrades, per favor. And something useful, supermarket, restaurant, paying at a monument, right? You can say, tarjeta, right? Which is your card, tarjeta. Or you can say, en efectivo, which means with cash. En efectivo. Efectivo is cash, tarjeta, card. And the last one that I think will be really helpful for you, especially if you're here between like 1 and 5 days, is when you go to a monument or some restaurants, you can say, teniu un descompte, right? Descompte is a discount. Teniu un descompte amb el Valencia tourist card. So you gotta say tourist card like a Valencian, but basically it just means, do you have a discount with the Valencia tourist card? Lots of places do. For all the municipal museums, you get in for free. And for a lot of other museums and attractions, etc., you can get a big discount. I've got a full breakdown of the Valencia tourist card along with a calculator on my page, so you can check that out and see if it's worth you buying it or not. So yeah, make sure to check that out and save some money. So last question, why bother with all of this if most people sort of speak some English to get by? I think Valencia has a really rich culture and language, and I think that when you travel, the way to travel responsibly is just learning a few basic things, right? It doesn't take that much effort to learn, 5 phrases. Even if you say them wrong, who cares? The point is you're trying and you're showing your respect to the people. So I don't expect you to be fluent if you're just here for the weekend. But just saying bon dia and moltes gracias shows that you respect the people and you did at least a little bit of research. And I promise you, Valencians really do notice, and they get so happy when people take that small little step. And there's your Valencian starter kit. I have a full guide on my website, completely free. It's all of these phrases, so you can take some screenshots if you want to. Plus you get some extra phrases about things like the airport, numbers, etc. And of course, if you need help planning a trip, you want to help sort out the details, you want a private tour, you want a consultation, a custom-made itinerary, just send me a message. There's a link below for that too. So I hope this helped. Please like and subscribe if it did, and bon viaje!